Armstrong Entertainment. Mission Impossible Part 4?
Hey everyone, this is Chad from Armstrong Entertainment, and I saw the movie Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol. It stars Tom Cruise, Simon Pegg, Jeremy Renner, Paula Patton, and it's directed by Brad Bird. And randomly, this is his first feature film with actors in it. He usually does like animation and stuff like that, so I thought that was kind of interesting. What's really funny about this movie is I had no idea which Mission Impossible it was. I didn't know if it was Mission Impossible 3 or 4. I couldn't remember how many there were. And that's really, really bad, especially for someone like me who sees every single movie. I've seen all the Mission Impossible movies, and I couldn't even remember if this was the 4th or 3rd, because the other two were so forgettable and awful. Parts 2 and 3 I hated. Absolutely loved part 1. I remember growing up, I was a wee little boy when it came out, and I remember thinking, oh, I want to be Ethan Hunt, I love this movie so much, and the scene where she gets stabbed at the very beginning of the movie, I like almost cried. No, I didn't almost cry, but I was really upset, and it just really affected me, that movie, for some reason. I have no idea why. This is back when Tom Cruise wasn't crazy. Now, it's really, really hard for me to see a Tom Cruise movie without, like, always thinking about his personal life. And I think that is the worst thing that can happen with an actor, is when their personal life actually affects their movies, when it totally shouldn't, but it does. So again, big fan of the first one, absolutely hated part 2, hated part 3, did not want to see this movie, but I figured, you know what, I'll give it a chance. This movie again stars Tom Cruise as Ethan Hunt. Him and his team, his IMF team, are basically blamed for a bombing, and the president puts them into Ghost Protocol, whatever the hell that means. I don't even know what that means, but I guess they're supposed to be very stealthy. And it is their mission, if they choose to accept it, to recover these nuclear power launch codes. I don't know, it seems like a typical plot for a type of movie like this. I feel like all these movies have the exact same plot. Oh, there's gonna be bombs blowing up in the air, let's save the world. What? I don't know, is that all you can really think of in the plot? Can't they have something more interesting? I don't know, I'm so over the terrorist stuff. On the other hand, this movie, what it has going for it, the Mission Impossible movies are awesome because they're so high-tech, and they show you things in the film that are like, you're like, holy crap, I didn't even know they had invented that. Like, where did that come from? I've never heard of that. There is a hallway scene, and you know what I'm talking about when you see the movie, and I was like so in awe of this scene. I was like, this is the best scene ever. It almost made the movie for me because it was so cool. They have so many cool gadgets and like little things that happen, and it was, you know, the gadgets and the high-tech stuff really make this movie. This is the first movie that I really felt like I was watching a James Bond movie when the old ones came out, so it felt very much like a James Bond movie, and that's a good thing for me. The action sequences, let's talk about that for a minute. They are intense. I literally there's 1 or 2 moments I was so tense I was like on the edge of my seat. I was looking around because I was really nervous. The scene where he's like jumping on the skyrise thing, I don't know, they just kind of freaked me out. They were just so inventive with the different action sequences, and they were new and different, which I really enjoyed. But on the other hand, they are so far-fetched and ridiculous, it's ridiculous. You just have to accept that it could never happen in real life, but it's cool to see. There's also a really awesome scene where 2 girls fight. That was probably my favorite fight action scene. It reminded me a little bit of Kill Bill, but not nearly as good as Kill Bill. But this action scene with these 2 chicks is pretty awesome, and I laughed at the end of it. You'll know why when you see it. I feel like they're really trying to revamp the franchise, because they definitely did not call it Mission Impossible 4. They called it Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol. They're revamping it, which is a great thing. Jeremy Renner, Paula Patton, Simon Pegg, all of them really brought the team together, and I really like the cast. I was pleasantly surprised with this film. I was able to take Tom Cruise, his personal life, out of the movie for at least an hour and a half, and it's definitely better than part 2 and part 3. Not as good as part 1, but definitely a good film. Check it out with your family over this holiday weekend. It's not too scandalous, nothing too crazy happens. I mean, if they don't like action or something, I don't know. There's no like sex and nudity. So you can bring grandma and grandpa. It's a family film. Check it out over the holiday weekend. I will give it 3 stars. See? My stars should be fitting in my hands right now. Do you see them? Little green guys? Check it out. Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol. I was impressed.